Well, I said I would watch the Possession and then I would vlog about it and then have a nervous breakdown later on, and I'm a internet reviewer of my word.
Hi.
That was pretty bad, and sorry for both not very good, but neither of us are very good right now. But not going to go into details. If you want to know what's wrong with me, check my Twitter. Yeah, the Possession wasn't very good.
No, it was quite shite.
It was, you know, the devil inside? It was possibly worse, but it was more interesting because it was Jewish.
The Jewish rabbi fellow was the only actual character in it. The rest were just caricatures. There was the slightly alcoholic, absent father who's trying to get his kids back, which isn't everything. There was the slightly prissy mother with the curly hair, and who's the Earth Mother character who cares too much about her children and is annoyed at the father, who's in everything. There were the kids who were, you know, generic children who swear and laugh about it, and who fucking are trying to make their dream of the dance school or whatever the fuck it was. Here and everything.
Whenever this footage is transferring, I'm going to check the internet to see exactly how much of a based on a true story this wasn't. And I have no idea about the exorcism thing. I don't know much about Jewish mythology, so I don't know how inaccurate that was. My guessing is quite a bit, because these things are always very inaccurate.
And the fact that it did most of it in English would be quite inaccurate.
Okay, it's really, really, really bad until you get to the rabbis, and then it becomes slightly less bad. But you have this big dramatic scene with the very traditional rabbi guy who's speaking in Yiddish or Hebrew, I'm not really sure which. And then someone's always translating for him, and then of course, just for the dramatic last line, he suddenly speaks English.
Much like the demon who can understand English the entire movie but refuses to speak it.
Well, to be fair, what's the line? The line from Elves? Magical powers, can't be hurt or killed. I'm just going to extrapolate that, can speak English randomly. You ever seen Elves? The Nazis used genetic engineering and black magic to create Santa Claus, Christmas elves, which are going to give birth to the master race.
Sounds like a better movie than this one.
Yeah, in many ways it is. Yeah, this is bad. The only bits that everything that's not directly connected to Judaism, that wasn't derivative, was shit.
There was also a jump scare every 3 minutes.
And only one of them actually managed to make me jump. That was the one with the book. I don't know why that did. Right now, the twist ending, which is so obvious that I stated what was going to happen about 4 or 5 seconds before it happened.
Yep, and then there was, of course, the family getting back together. Spoilers, by the way, which I predicted from the second that the divorce was implied before it was even stated.
And yeah, and they have the boyfriend of the wife. Good guy, doesn't do anything bad the entire film, and then just suddenly runs out and is replaced.
Great with the kids, great job. He's kind of rich, lovely fella. Makes breakfast in the mornings, so didn't do anything bad. I don't like you anymore. I'll go back with my ex-husband, who's a raging alcoholic who cares too much about his work, and is kind of shit and looks like a knockoff Nicolas Cage.
Well, it's the guy from the thing, from the Watchmen. He played the comedian. He was also in a very bad Rapture movie with Stephen Baldwin called 666: The Mark Unleashed. I've seen a lot of Rapture movies. Also, for some reason, being possessed by a Jewish ghost, demon creature thing, turns you into a tiny goth, like a pre-mall goth. And for some reason, when they were trying to do the exorcism on the little girl, they had to use all these little props and candles and oil and water and shit, and it doesn't work.
But just shouting the demon's name, assholes, oh, get in the fucking box.
Well, yeah, whenever it's someone else possessed, because someone else always gets possessed in these fucking movies. That works fine. Apparently, there's depending on what age group you're in, different rules apply.
Also, why was the demon a fucking physical being?
I don't know, although I have to say the idea of seeing the demon in the MRI scanner was an amusing little idea, one of the few.
The fact that it was moving in still images, though, was a bit strange.
I thought they were taking video.
No, MRI is still image, it's still image.
I don't know much on MRI.
Still image.
It looked like Gollum, by the way.
It did, except slimier.
Yeah.
And badly done.
We didn't see it enough to really tell how badly it was done.
I don't know, I didn't like the CGI in this film. It felt CGI.
And the little girl appeared to be like a knockoff version of the villain in the worst adaptation of the Ring book ever. I'm of course talking about the American remake of Ring,
Yeah.
because of course the Japanese one is the best. However, the Korean remake of Ring was far superior to the American one.
The American version of The Ring was a bit shit. But yeah, she did take on that appearance quite a lot.
Yeah.
It was like, how can you not tell? Suddenly she's wearing really heavy, pale makeup and her hair's gone straggly. You can't tell there's something wrong with this kid whenever she can fucking transform like that.
And then it's throwing people around. And at the start we first get introduced to the demon creature inside the box, cause, but
The
what's
box
in the
that
box?
stops it from
What's
hurting
in the box?
anybody.
What's in the box? Yeah, they state the box stops, controls it, and it can't get out of the box. It can't influence things outside. Of course, first time you see it,
It's throwing a woman around a room.
yeah, and somehow
From
she survives
inside the
it.
box.
Even though about half of her bones get broken, she survives somehow. But and the box is like, and even though she was going to destroy the box, which would have released it,
Why the fuck did they have the box sitting on the mantelpiece?
I don't know.
Surely it should have been in the hands of some sort of super orthodox Jewish person, not just on some random old bitch's mantelpiece.
Family heirlooms, possibly. If any bets, if this is based on a real story and heavily edited for film, the fact that it was on the mantelpiece for years and apparently nothing happened from it until the garage sale, is going to be part of what actually happened.
I get the feeling that it's based on a true story in the way that Lord of the Rings could be based on a true story. I smoked some weed.
Maybe, or Fargo, or whatever.
One thing I will say is all of the sets look dreadfully like sets.
And okay, American hospitals apparently have the world's greatest soundproofing. Seriously, you could do ADR in there. Because, holy shit, so much noise.
So much screaming, so much throwing of things.
No one ever even comes in. The last Exorcism movie I saw was The Devil Inside, which was less original and possibly less terrible. I'm not sure. But little bit of noise in the hospital when they tried to do an exorcism. People fucking came because
Believe it
people
or
are
not,
around.
hospitals are never abandoned. Not active ones, anyway. Abandoned hospitals obviously are.
And if you hear a noise in the hospital, you come running because people tend to be injured and possibly dying. So if you hear screaming, you're
You'll
conditioned to go
get
to it.
Quite a lot of people running towards you.
Yeah.
Another thing was the sound editor of this film was stupid. I think it may have been his first ever job because he took every sound and made it loud. There was no mixing. There was nothing. The music was loud and the vocals were loud and everything was just at one level. There was no dynamic range in the sound of this film and it really pissed me off because the cinema had the volume on loud. So everything was loud.
Yeah. And, just the raccoon thing, which obviously worked out within a couple of seconds what the fuck was going on. Why did he have to stay in New York State? Why couldn't he have just gone to North Carolina if he's apparently with the mother again? Why couldn't they all go down? Because it's a much better paying job. We never found out what she did for a living. Also, I'm pretty sure this
She
was
whinges for a living.
Also, I'm pretty sure this was an episode of Poltergeist: The Legacy, but this might be because the blonde one who played the mother looks like Helen Shraver, who was in Poltergeist: The Legacy and had a daughter, who I'm sure was possessed in every third episode.
I've decided her name's Claire because she looks a bit like the girl that used to teach me piano, called Claire.
Okay. Oh, and apparently Jewish ghosts have the ability to control the weather, which is useful to know. Christian demons, have the ability to make their possessed person dress in night clothes and make things cold. Jewish ones make the weather happen and make your teeth fall out and then make you dress like a goth. I want to see what an Islamic one would be. I'm guessing it would be a jinn and something involving fire.
I don't know, I think the Jewish ghost had the power to make people hear the soundtrack because I saw several times actors reacting to what I assumed was the soundtrack.
Actually, no, I was thinking near the end of it, whenever they had the bit where people were hugging each other and the soundtrack was really loud. Or was it with the mother and the girl, whichever? There was this bit where the soundtrack was really loud, and I was like, the soundtrack's so fucking loud. I was pretty sure that the characters should have heard the soundtrack, but they didn't.
I don't know, with parts there was drums and shit and characters would look around and I'm like, Was that supposed to be a sound effect, or was that the soundtrack that
And parts of it were, honestly, parts of it were like some of the bad Exorcist movies, as in 2 and Exorcist the Beginning, because 1, 3, and Dominion are good. Bits are like that, with anytime you've got moths or moth-like stuff with locusts and shit in an Exorcist movie, just as a rule of thumb, usually it's not a good one. Because it means they've got the lowest common denominator. And we've discovered that the items inside the box were there to bind it to it. And by the way, I hope the rabbi replaced the mirror in it, because he breaks the mirror to find out the name of the creature, and so we can bind it in the box. And the only reason it's kept in the box is because of the mirror, and it's looking at itself for some reason. But it's got these items that are binding it there.
That one of them was left outside the box.
And, well, they put new items in. But why did the girl, when she was possessed, start wearing the ring? It's like, I'm totally taking the piss out of the last guys that put me in the box by wearing their stuff.
I think it was more a reference to the ring.
Maybe.
Like, pretty much her entire character design was. Also, the 2 fucking children were almost indistinguishable.
Yeah, it was like The Shining, where you got the two girls who look identical, but one's taller than the other because one's like 2 years older. It was like that, but less actually creepy. More annoying.
I would sum up that entire film in a word: annoying.
One of those girls, or maybe both of them, reminded me of the little girl in the Screwfly Solution. But the one in the Screwfly Solution was occasionally entertaining because she had a death wish.
Also, what the fuck with the hands and the face and shit?
Oh.
It's like, there's a hand coming out of my face and this is not killing me.
Yeah, the little girl is sort of looking in the mirror and seeing a hand coming out of her mouth and stuff. And it's like, I think that whenever you see a hand coming out of your mouth, you tell someone, because either you've got a sucking demon or creature inside you, or more likely you've gone insane. And either way, you want to let people know, because either you're going to start killing people because you've got a demon inside you, or you're going to start killing people because you've gone fucking insane.
As a British person, I found it was quite funny watching a little girl screaming about her box.
This is true. And my box. It's not very good.
No, it's not. Even the lesbian scene was shit. But it was a lesbian scene. They were groping each other.
It wasn't very good.
Don't watch it. Well, do, but get drunk first.
Yeah, if you like Exorcist movies, give it a go, because it is something slightly different.
If you like Exorcist movies, walk to your local video rental store and rent The Exorcist.
There's no video rental stores anymore.
Get it on Netflix.
There you go, that's more likely. Then just get The Exorcist. The Exorcist 3 and Dominion, both, which is technically 4, are good as well.
Yeah, do that. Go and watch The Exorcist. Don't watch this shit.
Yeah, get The Exorcist Pentology, and then throw away 2 and Beginning. But we're running out of things to say about this because, frankly, neither of us are in the mood to really be funny.
And the movie itself wasn't in the mood to give us anything to joke about.
They constantly had the spinning camera, which, because of the position we were in the cinema, it actually made me feel slightly like IMAX type thing.
I find one thing rather curious: the fact that they used the same bathroom set for 2 different houses.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Also, the ceilings were higher than a fucking warehouse, and the sets were so obviously sets. And I've said that before, but dear God, putting a table and chairs in a big white panelled empty space does not make it into a living room.
Oh, was that the dad's place?
Yeah.
Well, he hadn't decorated yet. That's what I took it as.
I know, but it was the same for the mum's place. They had more stuff in it, but it was still very obviously a ceilingless giant set.
Could well be.
Friends did a better job of not looking like a set than that did.
I want to see a really horrible film that's really dramatic and just disgusting and just terrible, filmed like a sitcom. And I know Natural Born Killers did a scene like that. I want to see an entire film like that with laugh track and all.
3 cameras, 3 walls.
Yeah, and with laugh tracks.
Awesome.
You got a scene where a guy comes in and rapes someone and it's got a laugh track. It would quite possibly be the most fucked up thing ever.
Let's make this shit happen. Let's start a Kickstarter.
It'd probably be pretty cheap to do. It'd have to be filmed with actual sort of television cameras rather than film cameras.
Oh, 35mm, 3 of them.
No. Television cameras they're videotape, aren't they? The quality looks different than film, and the film looks better, even though it's less quality than television. Whichever, film it like that, with garish lighting and everything. Yeah. I laughed at one point because there was the traditional "come into me" type thing. Apparently, every single fucking Exorcist movie needs to have a bit where the creature switches house, even though they state that it can only live inside an innocent.
And it specifically likes children.
Yeah. It's like, here I am, I'm in Candyland, bitch, and then suddenly this thing that...
Come into me instead, me, the old alcoholic, beauty-faced man with wife troubles and...
What? I said, hey, I'm in Candyland, do I want to live inside this big piece of shit? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, it's invisible.
Watch it if you want. Didn't like.
Nah, I think that's all we really have to say on the subject.
Yeah. Needs more golems.
Needs more rabbis.
Needs more golems. It's got a golem, but not enough golems. They spelt golem wrong, and therefore they CGI'd golem.
Ah. Well, that would have been interesting, watching a golem come out of a little girl.
The golems are physical beings.
Yeah, I know, but I would have liked to see...
I want to see a golem movie where a golem kills Nazis. It was sort of done in the Keep, but, because the original golem stories were based around, pogroms and anti-Semites getting, killed in revenge.
Yeah.
Perfect thematically. Well, the Keep sort of did it, but its golem was like made of papier-mâché with like lit up eyes and stuff, and Rick Mail was in it, so, and it turns into a Meatloaf music video at the end. So
I want to see Terry Pratchett's golems brought to life on the screen.
if you have one and you write death on it, because it's like truth and then death, then there's a Marvel character called Death's Head. So if you have Death's Head, he turns into a robot cyborg that goes across the galaxy killing Transformers.
Yeah. I think we've gone off topic.
Need some more golems. The end.